All right, Bahamas. This one is only for the men. Nice, serious with this one. Listen, if you're a female, cut your TV off now. This episode only for the men. I promise you. Listen to me. You know, like how sometimes they have like the pill bottles that come on TV. And they say, if you take this pill, you will get headaches, hypertension, hallucination, all that funny stuff. Well, that's the situation here. Females, ladies, mothers, and daughters, if you listen to this, you may get headaches, you may get hypertension, you may get anger issues, you may get anxiety, you may get all of that. Don't listen to this one. This one is only for the men. I only can talk to the men today. I only can talk to the men about this one today. Bahamas, this one could be deep. And I get 2 stories for y'all. I starting off hot. Now listen to this story. And then we're going to get into the Bible. But I got to give you a segue into this. Or a prequel. I got to walk us into this one. Because this one could be serious. This is only for the men. Females, you know what? Let me pray first to give you all a chance to cut your TV off. God, pray you may bless us. God, protect us. Help that the words of our mouths and the meditation of our hearts may always be acceptable in thy sight. Oh Lord, our strength and redeemer. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen. All right. So only men watching now, the women TV off. Now listen to this, man. Listen to this story. I hadn't seen one of my dudes, one of my guys, like a good friend of mine. I hadn't seen him since COVID. Right? So when I saw him, I said, where your little soldier at? Because every time I usually see me with this little boy, and I like to see the little boy. Let me tell you why I like to see the little boy. He always have the little boy dressed down in Nike down to the socks. Now, personally, I feel like dressing a baby up in Nike is a waste of money. But I like to see it. I like to see the little boy in Jordans. So I say, where your little soldier at? He say, he gone. I say, he gone? So I give him one of the funny looks. He gone? See my he gone. He gone with his mother. Now, Bahamas, I ain't slow. I pick up on that right away. I say, gone with his mother? Gone where? He say, but I talked to the little boy and his mother for at least about 3-4 months. I say, your head ain't no good. I open my eyes just like this. You know how I just open your eyes? I always say, see, when something really disturbs me, I just open my eyes. I say, what? I say, you ain't talked to your little soldier in 3-4 months? I think of my own 2 little boys now. I say, what? Your head ain't no good, eh? So he says to me, but my baby mama crazy. You don't even know what I going through. So Bahamas, you know what I had to say then? I said, listen to me. Everybody get a crazy baby mama. See, remember, I told you to cut your TV off. I told you cut your TV off because I only can speak the truth now. I only can tell you the story going. I say, everybody get a crazy baby mama. And you ain't see your soldier. You ain't see your little boy in how long? Your head ain't no good. He say, listen to me, boy. It's always a fight. Every time I'm with this girl, it's always a fight. I can't take that. And then guess what he say? He say, but the reason why the majority of these children ain't get no daddy is because of the ma, but you just can't take the ma, so you don't want nothing to do with the child. Bahamas is a true story. True story. I say, buddy, listen to me. And it's as simple as this. The woman gotta be crazy. You know why she gotta be crazy? You know why everybody get a crazy baby mama? Because a female is supposed to be treated like a wife. Now, the minute you turn her into a baby mama and you treat her as such, she could go a little crazy. She can't help it because she wasn't meant to be treated that way. You're supposed to treat her like a wife. You're supposed to turn her into the wife, but you turn her into a baby mama. God forgive us. But it is what it is. But here's the thing. We don't battle against flesh and blood. So you ain't fighting against her. You get one spirit in the middle of y'all that's keeping you away from the child suffering. Come on. So he wasn't trying to hear that. So anyway, this is how the story ends, because we talked for at least an hour. But this is how the story ends. I end up saying to him, I say, listen to me. I have one question to ask you. He say, what's the question? I say, how you say the Our Father prayer? He look at me like I stupid. So I double down. I say, boss, you shouldn't even say the Our Father prayer. You shouldn't say the Our Father prayer. Now, Bahamas, I know I was wrong. I was wrong for telling somebody they shouldn't say the Our Father prayer. How you can tell somebody that? My head ain't no good either. But I say, listen to me. You shouldn't say the Our Father prayer because the prayer starts with Our Father. How you can go to God and say Our Father and your own child can't come to you and call you Father because you ain't there? I said, what kind of thing this is? And after that, we ain't talk since. And that was like a couple of days ago. And we ain't talking. I think we could talk for a while. We ain't gonna talk for a while, but Bahamas, this one go deep. So today we talking about the fight. Because he said the reason why most children in the Bahamas ain't get no daddy is because they get one ma who always want to fight. They can't deal with that. So we talking about the fight today. We talking about the father and the son today. We talking about the fight. And like I said, females, mothers, daughters, mine included. I apologize for this one. Don't listen to this episode. I only can talk to the men. This straight talk. So let's go to work. So we in Mark chapter 9. And we talking about the fight. And listen to this story. Because that one hurt me to my heart, Bahamas. So we got to talk about the fight. We can talk about who we fighting against. And we can talk about the 3 ways to win this fight. We going to work today. I got a lot of work to do today. And then I said a lot of people ain't gonna watch me no more, and that's fine. But I got to get this one out. Now listen to this. And we're in Mark chapter 9. We starting at verse 17. And we're going to work today. I can read this story and then we can break this one down. And one of the multitude said, Master, I have brought unto thee my son, which hath a dumb spirit. And wheresoever he taketh him, he teareth him, and he foameth, and he gnasheth his teeth, and pineth away. And I spoke to thy disciples, and they cannot cast him out. So now, think about this. Bahamas, what's the most important thing here? They cannot cast him out. So see, we dealing with something different. This one different. It said they. Now God said, where 2 or 3 gather in my name, I'll be there. So you had a few disciples and they couldn't deal with this spirit. That's how serious this one is. So we in for a fight. That's what I need you to understand. We're talking about a fight today. So they were in for a fight. This thing started off what? He say they. You get a whole group of disciples. God promised that where 2 or 3 gather, I'll be there. But a whole group of disciples couldn't cast out this spirit. That's how serious this one is. And Jesus answered him and said, O faithless generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him to me. So here it is. God gave him a straight answer, a straight response. Look at what God said. God said, O faithless generation. Because see, whenever you're in a fight, you need someone to tell you the truth. So God told them what they were, a faithless generation. That's like how some women may need a ma to tell them, listen to me. If you keep that child away from his pa out of spite, you only going to make that child life worse and even worse for you, because I don't know how you could get into heaven. How you going to go to the pearly gates and talk to God knowing that you kept a father away from a son away from a father, a daughter away from a father? But see, some people, they got someone in their corner to tell them the truth. Some women, they may have a mother who egging them on to do that stupidness. Head ain't no good. Everybody crazy. They was a baby mama and their daughter's a baby mama. So all them crazy. I tell you, you can talk to the men today. But God told them the truth. God said, oh, faithless generation. Whenever you're in a fight, you need someone to tell you the truth. And let's continue on. And they brought the boy unto Jesus. And when he saw Jesus, straightway the spirit tore him, and he fell on the ground and started wallowing and foaming at the mouth. So here it is. This is a crazy spirit. What I try to tell you is this. This is an important one. Remember Legion. The first time Legion saw Jesus, what did Legion do? Legion was about 2,000 spirits, and all of them spirits got down on their knees and say, oh, Son of God, what have we to do with you? How have you come to go ahead and torment us before the appointed time? That's what Legion did. 2,000 spirits did this. But this ain't no familiar spirit. When he saw Jesus, he threw the boy down and started foaming and gnashing his teeth and carrying on by. So this spirit different. Let me tell you the difference. Legion is like that dark liquor. But Legion, the demon Legion, was like coconut rum. Ricardo's coconut rum. This spirit right here we talking about, because we in a fight. This spirit like Hennessy. This is hit different. You can't compare coconut rum to Hennessy. The two of them is dark liquor, but you can't compare the two. So you got two demons here. One is Hennessy and one is coconut rum. We talk about the Hennessy. How you going to fight Hennessy? You can't fight Hennessy. When that hit different. So here it is, I talking to the streets today. I got to talk to the streets today. I talking to all my partners so they who got baby mamas who driving them crazy and they say they cheering for a minute. So I got to talk to the streets today. That's why I talking like this, Bahamas. I talk like I get them degrees like I never been to college. That's how I talk today because this one's serious. I got to bring this one back to the streets. So here it is. Jesus encountered the spirit, and instead of the spirit paying homage, like all other spirits did in the Bible, this one started acting the fool. He acting the straight fool. So let's continue on. I just need you to understand what we're dealing with. See, I'm setting the stage now. All right. So now verse 21. Listen to this. And Jesus asked his father, how long has it been since the spirit has come unto him? And the father replied, since a child. Now see, this is an important part here. Let me take my time. And the important part here is this. Jesus asked the man a question he already knew the answer to. And see, that's very, very important. Because if Jesus is going to ask you a question he already knows the answer to, then he needs you to be able to understand that answer. He wants you to think about it. So Jesus said, how long has the boy been like this? Or has your son been like this? And the man said, since a child. That's like me going to a woman who all beat up. And I say, you know what? How long your husband been beating you? And then you reply to me, well, for the past 15 years since we've been married. Think about that, Bahamas. You've been getting beat up for 15 years. So I need you to listen to that answer. Listen to that good. So when Jesus say, how long has he been like this? And you say, since he was a child. See, Jesus needs you to listen to that. Because see, this is a faithless and perverse generation. So God needs you to listen to this. You've been faithless for that long. Your son been suffering for that long. And let's continue on. And oftentimes, so the father continues. He says, since he was a child, and oftentimes, the spirit had cast him into the fire and into the waters to destroy him. But if thou canst do anything, have compassion on us and help us. So here it is, he continues to open up and talks about how the spirit was cast him into the fire and cast him into the water to destroy him. So what's going on here? Simple. Whenever anyone has a spirit, the spirit only has, or evil spirit, the evil spirit only has one goal, and that's to kill you. So let me explain this one to you. Remember Legion? What did Legion do? The minute Legion got into the pigs, Legion killed every single one of them pigs by throwing them over a cliff. That means the only reason Legion didn't kill that man is because he couldn't. Now, why couldn't he kill that man? Let's go to work. This boy been like this since he was a child. And spirit often tried to throw him into the fire and into the water. But he was never able to kill him. Why? Only for one reason. That means God is with this boy since he was a child. So every time he got thrown into the fire, God was there. Every time the boy got thrown into the water, God was there. And here you have it, God is here now. See, that's why this is crucial. That's why I started off by saying, what did God say? Where 2 or 3 gather, I will be in the midst of them. So here it is. You had a few disciples and none of them could have cast this demon out. But God never lied. He was in the midst of them. So here God is. So God is going to handle this now. So keep up with me now. It's an important one. We're going to work today. So here it is. God is there. And let's continue on. And Jesus said unto him, if thou can believe, all things are possible for him that believeth. So let me read these 2 verses for you again for you to understand this. Because this one can hit hard. When I explain this one, this can hurt a lot of people. That's why I say only men can listen to this. Now listen to this back and forth between Jesus and the man. And listen closely. And what verse is this? This verse 22 and 23. And oftentimes the spirit had cast him into the fire and into the waters to destroy him. But if thou canst do anything, have compassion on us and help us. And Jesus said to him, if thou can believe, all things are possible for him that believeth. So what was Jesus saying here? What Jesus is saying here is this. If you can believe, all things are possible for him that can believe it. So I know how bad it is. This is a child. And this demon been throwing this child in the fire and in the water. But if you can believe, because see, that's the important part. Now follow me. If you can believe, then anything is possible for those who can believe. But now let me bring this home. The problem is, it's easier to believe that my 2-year-old son, who playing with dolls and have a propensity to like things that are pink, has a gay gene. If he's acting effeminate, it's easier for me to believe he has a gay gene. Because see, I can't believe that a 2-year-old, an innocent 2-year-old, remember now, this 2-year-old was born into sin. I don't know what his daddy was into. His daddy could have been the biggest drug dealer or in the closet all his life. But anyway, let's continue on with this story. You can't believe that a 2-year-old can have a homosexual spirit that's influencing him and that's following him. Let me go deeper with this one. That's why Jesus say, if you can believe. Because see, it's hard to believe that the devil is killed babies in the womb. He's abort babies in the womb. So if your son 2-year-old and playing with dolls, if your son is 2 years old and playing with dolls, then he's 2 years old, too old for the devil, because the devil said, I should have killed you when you was in the womb. So this 2 years later, the devil said, I ain't killed you yet. So if the devil can kill you in the womb, then what does it mean to the devil if you 2 years old and you playing with dolls or whatever? You think the devil wouldn't attack a child when I go to work today? That's why I only can talk to the men. A female, I feel like females can't take this one. This one too honest. This one too straight. This one too harsh. I ain't being sensitive at all. I only can talk to the men. Because this one is a fight. You got to see what you're fighting against. You're fighting against the spirit from the womb, from a child. Let's go to work. And then listen to this. And straightway the father of the child cried out with tears, Lord, I believe, help mine unbelief. So why did he cry out with tears and say, Lord, I believe? Because God said, if you believe, anything is possible. So he had to cry out with tears and say, I believe. You know why? Because now you realize that it's all dependent on him. The child wallowing on the floor, gnashing teeth, foaming at the mouth. How the child going to pray for himself? That child got a demon. Ain't nothing the child can do. But you're responsible for that child. See, we're going to work today. This one can get deeper in a minute. So now the father got to burst out crying. Because if this child been like this for years, it was dependent on you to fix that child. Not the child. The child can't even pray. The child foaming at the mouth. Come on. All right, let's go to work. And when Jesus saw the people come running, so the people came running out. He rebuked the foul spirit, saying, Thou dumb and deaf spirit, I charge thee, come out of him and answer him no more. So this is a movie. The man pull a scene. So what happened is the man burst out crying and said, God, I believe. And everybody come running to see. All the multitudes came running. So this is a movie. This is a movie scene. The man cut movie. He was losing his mind now. Based on what he was hearing. It's up to him to heal this child. It's his belief. And the spirit cried and rent him sore. So the spirit cried and threw down the little boy. And came out of him. And the boy was as one dead. Insomuch that many said he is dead. So this is like the climax of the movie. This is suspense scene. So the spirit freaked himself out and act the fool again and throw the boy down or throw the son down. And then came out of him. But Jesus took him by the hand and lifted him up. And the child arose. So here we have a happy ending. See how the fight over. See, we got to go on to work. I got to explain this fight. But the fight over now. But you see who had to hold his hand. So Jesus held his hand. And when Jesus had come into the house, his disciples asked him privately, why could we not cast this demon out? And Jesus said to him, this kind can only come forth by nothing but prayer and fasting. Let's go to work. So we got to go to work because we're talking about the fight. Now, I ain't got much time now, but I got 3 reasons on how you fight and how you go win this fight. And A, by fighting your baby mama. And definitely A, by fighting the child. So let's go to work, Bahamas. And listen to this now. Listen good. Because this is reason number 1. We starting at verse 17. And one of the multitude answered and said, Master, I have brought my son to thee, which hath a dumb spirit. And wheresoever he taketh him, he teareth him and foameth, and gnasheth his teeth, and pineth away. And I spoke to thy disciples, and they could not cast him out. So what's the big issue here? Now, Bahamas, I going to work now. The big issue here is this, because we got to get to the first thing you need to do, the first rule in order to win a fight against these spirits, because we fight against principalities and outer darkness and high places. We don't fight against flesh and blood. So what's the first issue here? The first issue here is, listen to what the man said. I brought my son to your disciples. Now, Bahamas, if you can't bring your child to God, if you don't understand the first place you need to go is to God, then you already lose. That's the first place you needed to go. The first place he went wrong was taking his son to the disciples. You're taking the disciples for. Let me go to work on this one. Now, Bahamas, let me talk to the men now, because I'm only talking to the men. All the women turn the TV off. So to all the men, listen to me. The disciples are basically the preachers of the day. Now, how many of y'all can get your preacher to pray and fast for y'all? He may pray for y'all, but I doubt he can fast for you. Let me go deeper with this one. If you sick, you lucky if you even get the preacher to come visit you. He may come visit you if he in the area. He was past the doctor's hospital and say, you know what, let me come visit you. He may come visit, but how you get him to fast for you? Listen to me. You all need to be lucky for Grammy. The only reason why a lot of us are alive today is because Grammy was fasting. Mother was fasting, man. But I promise you the preach ain't gonna fast for you. So what I trying to say to you is this. How are you going to carry the child to the preacher for the preacher to pray and fast for your child? Because see, some demons, these demons is act the fool. It's only come out through prayer and fasting. How the preacher going to pray and fast for your child? Let me go deeper with this one. I got to go deeper with this one. I only can talk to the men. I can't talk to the women because they can be sensitive. Let me talk to the men. And listen to this now. Let's talk with the disciples. You got Peter. He denied Jesus 3 times. That's who could pray and fast for you. You had Thomas. Doubting Thomas didn't even believe in the resurrection. He said, but I got to put my hand in the wounds in order for me to believe. You had Judas, who put Jesus on the cross. These the people who this man was bringing his child to. Now, I ain't calling out the disciples. What I trying to say is if I can carry my child to anyone, the child, hey, the person got to be perfect. And there's only one perfect person, and that's Jesus. It's as simple as that. I got to take him to the cross. I got to take him to the cross. Ain't no preacher got to take him to the cross. How many of these preachers in the closet? How many of these preachers in love with money? How many of these preachers get sweetheart? And right after they leave the sweetheart house, they come to my house and talk about the healing my child. Impossible. You got to go to Christ for yourself. You got to fast for yourself. You got to pray. So that's what they're trying to say. The problem with the very first thing the man did, or rule number 1 is you can't carry your child to man first. You got to go to God first. And then we can all come together and pray in unison. But I go to God for myself. I got fast for myself. I got pray for myself. What I need you to go to God for me for? What I can go to God for myself. We can congregate afterwards, but in the beginning I go to God for myself. So that's the first problem. Now what's the second problem? I think this one go deep. The second rule you need to do in a fight. And this is verse 22. And listen to this good. For all the men out there we see they churn. Head ain't no good. And oftentimes it casted them into the fire and into the waters to destroy him. But if thou can't do anything, have compassion. So number 2, let me set up for this one. You got to know who you fighting. Let me explain what I mean. It casted them into the fire. What is the fire? If your child out there gang banging, what you think he in the middle of? Fire, bullets, a hailstone, guns firing. And you can't see that that's demonic activity? You just think that that's a bad child? That child in the middle of a gunfight, that's fire. What you think the fire is? Every time you turn around, your child ain't coming home. Or he's sneaking out the house. Or he ain't going to school. What does that mean? That means that that demon get him out there and throwing him into the fire. What's the fire? The fire is all them bullets are spraying around that store. And then when your child dead, oh, that's my good son. It's because of your unbelief, oh faithless generation. So what is the water? Oh, the demon threw him into the water. Some of you are big children and they drowning in debt. What I mean by debt? They can't pay their bills. They can't feed their own children. You have children who can't feed their own children. No one can feed each other. Come on. And you can't see this is demonic spirit up. You can't see you got to pray something out. Come on, Bahamas. And then we go deeper with that one. So they drown in debt because you get thrown into the waters. The waters are debt. And then what you do? You drown yourself with the bottle. You drinking now because you self-medicating. So either one way or another, this demon could drown you. Either he could drown you in bills and drive you crazy, or he could drown you in the bottle. You getting in the fire. How you getting in the fire? All them bullets spraying around now. So come on, it's demonic activity. You got to be able to look at it and see what you're fighting. So that's what's going on here. So the important part is at least his father could see what was going on. The first thing his father said, wait, this is an evil spirit. My son of a spirit. I could see of a spirit. He didn't know what to do, but at least he understood what was going on. So rule number one to win a fight, you got to go to God for yourself. You got to pray and fast for yourself. You can't depend on no preacher. Come on. The second rule, you got to know who you fighting. You ain't fighting against your baby mama. What you fighting against her for? For what? That make any sense? You got to go to God in prayer. You got to understand you don't fight against her. It ain't her who want the child dead. It's the devil who want the child dead. Come on. So the child growing up without a father, then you blame her when something happens to the child. And the demons laugh. Let's go to work. So what's the third thing? And the third rule, because I run out of time. I talk too much. And the third thing, we have verse 25. And when Jesus saw that the people came running together, Jesus rebuked the foul spirit, saying to him, thou dumb and deaf spirit, I charge thee, come out of him, and then see him no more. And the spirit cried and rent the boy's sore and came out of him. And the son was as one dead, insomuch that many people said, he is dead. So what's the last thing now? In any fight, this is the most important thing in my, no. Praying and fasting is the most important thing. So number one is the most important thing. But this one just as important. No, it ain't just as important. But this one is very important. See, I'm getting ahead of myself. So what happened here? At the very end of the fight, the spirit slammed down the boy, and the people thought the boy was dead. And this is the thing. The spirit did this in front of God. So you could have been bringing that child to church every single Sunday. And the same child smoking dope in the back of the church. Or stealing out the offering. Just doing garbage. Right in front of God. So what's the third thing you got to know to win a fight? You can't never give up. Because see that demon, they can never give up. What did the demon do? Before the demon leave, he slammed the child down, acting the fool. How you going to win a fight if you're going to give up? Listen to me. I get three little children. But my two oldest, when they start fighting, ain't nobody's be giving up. I said to break them apart. They're like two little wolves. I don't know what's going on with them. I had to pull them apart, stop fighting, and spank up the two of them. But ain't nobody giving up. When one grip, the next one short, the next one grip, the next one short, and ain't no one letting go. No one saying, I stopped, I sorry. That's how these demons carry on. Ain't nobody letting go. Ain't nobody giving up. So what am I trying to tell you? You can't ever give up. Why? Because when everybody thought the child was dead, come on. Your mom thought the child was dead. The people in the church thought the child was dead. The people in the school say, listen to me. This child ain't gonna be no good. He worthless. Dead. Jesus took the child by the hand and he was alive. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. You can't never give up. So let's go through the three things to win a fight. Number one, you got to go to Christ for yourself. You got to go to God for yourself. Before you go to any preacher, you got to fast and pray. Stop playing. Number two, and this is an important one. Rule number two is know who you're fighting. The problem is you don't know that you don't battle against flesh and blood. Stop fighting your baby mama. You're wasting your energy. She crazy. You crazy. We all crazy. You got to go to God and understand. But I got to pray with this woman. You know what? That's where you can make it. Let me pray with my baby mama. Or let me pray for my baby mama. Let me go to church with my baby mama. And then the third thing, and one of the most important things, you can't never give up because the devil ain't never give up. Even the church, the devil ain't giving up. Even in front of God, the devil ain't giving up. Because the minute you have unbelief or the minute you don't have faith, the devil know even. God praise you and bless us. God is protect us. Help us in all things to put God first, the Heavenly Father, and to know that we walk by faith and not by sight. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now. Because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people